Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I will be going over my IB Art Comparative Study submission that I got at grade 6 in IB Visual Art HL. Before we get into my submission, let's go over what comparative study really is. Comparative study is a documentation of comparison of 3 different artworks. Students are required to describe, analyze, compare, and contrast selected artworks through a variety of researches. There should be a proof of students demonstrating the influence that the artworks or artists gave to the student. Make sure you go over the course guide and syllabus for your year group so you can get a better idea of what exactly you are required to do for each submission. Comparative study occupies the smallest portion of the final grade of 20%. However, this one can be a real challenge for some people since there are a lot of research and organization involved in this project. Personally, I enjoy doing comparative study and had the least problem with it since I was not a good match for process portfolio at the beginning. Videos of my process portfolio are linked down below. So without further ado, let's get into my comparative study. I gave my CS a title. This was not a requirement for my year group, but I decided to give one because I thought it makes my research a good whole. As my title, In the Reflections of the Mirrors tells, my selection and investigation were done around the mirror that are present in all of my selected artworks. Beside from that, I added a brief summary about the whole project. The next page is the page where I introduce all 3 of my artworks that I chose. I chose A Bar at the Felice Bourget by Edward Manet, Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez, and Arnolfini Portrait by Jan van Eyck. Below the photo of each artwork, I wrote brief explanation about why I chose the work with the artwork and information about them. I structured my analysis into 3 parts. First one is formal analysis. In this part, formal quality of artworks should be described and analyzed in detail. It is good to tell the readers the effect of each visual element rather than just describing what is there. Some photos that explains what you are trying to say with words will help your delivery. You can see that there are information about the elements of art and principle of designs that are suitable for each artworks. Next section is cultural context and significance. Information about when the artwork was made, what era or art movement it is involved in, which artist or culture influenced the artist, how it was interpreted at the time, what technique was used to demonstrate the cultural influence, and the list goes on. I have included photos of other artworks that were created by the similar time period in order to compare the similarities in style and mood that they share in my selected artwork. Final section is function and purpose. In this section, I went a little bit deeper into what the artist was trying to communicate through his artwork. I focused on the meaning that each object may signify, introduce, known intention, and purposes if there is any. Since my selection of artworks were based on the presence of mirrors, information about the mirror and reflections in the mirror occupied a large proportion of the space. Let's move on to my next artwork. I basically kept the content the same except for little tweaks here and there. The content of information should be based on what the artwork is and what kind of information is suitable. Credible and sufficient information that are enough to be spread out without repeating themselves would be helpful. After going over each artworks in detail, I used 3 additional slides to compare the 3 artworks at once, so the readers can have a collective impression about my comparison. For conclusion and summary, I added a brief summary about what I did, more focused one about the mirror and reflection in the mirror, reflection about the meaning and the intention of these artworks, and what I learned and what I will do with the knowledge that I gained from this research. I made 3 artworks in regard to the artworks that I analyzed. First one is a gouache painting on paper. It is an imaginary image of a room with a mirror that has a reflection of a person. For this painting in particular, I adapted Velázquez's use of mirror. I wanted to show the intentional shift in perspective that occurs with the presence of mirror. I also added some analysis about my own work so I can explain what I was trying to do more clearly to the reader. There should be a reflection of some sort discussing what I have learned and how exactly I was influenced by my selected artworks. My second work is a pen drawing on paper. I try to show the space that is not present on the flat surface but exists through the mirror like Manet's work. This is a scene in a forest with a squirrel. Content of the page stayed the same. The last work is an edited digital art. I applied the use of distortion and hidden meaning like Jan van Eyck in the painting. I used the reflective surface to show what is not present in the larger surface. The drawing on the iPad is a shadow of a person with a tree. The same composition is reflected on the mirror, but the image inside the mirror is more colorful since it represents his childhood. I think CS helped me a lot to grow just like other 2 submissions in the way I see an artwork and think like an artist. I got a high concentration of knowledge about the 3 artworks that I chose, and I still feel affection for these 3 artworks. The important thing to remember when you are doing your CS is to read as much as possible. The quality of research is what determines the depth of analysis and explanation, so it is vital for the storyteller to know a lot about each and every aspect of the artwork. That was it, guys. I really hope that this video helped. Now that it's been a year since I did this, there are many areas that I feel like I could have done so much better. If there is anything that you think that could have done better or should not have done or especially liked, please share with everyone in the comment section so everyone can see and learn from them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!